Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Boys Do Sports. Today we got week 2. We're going to hit you with our starts and sits. But first, we want to get after week 1. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened this week. I feel like there was a lot of surprises, especially my biggest surprise is going to be this Bengals game, man. What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I know that Jamar didn't practice a lot, and they were without T. Higgins, and Burrow, did you see the video of him trying to pick up the water bottle or something? He couldn't.
Yeah. And he couldn't pick it up. I don't know. I wouldn't put too much into that because, 10 points, that's a piss poor by everybody. That means nobody got it done. Running backs couldn't get it done. Quarterback couldn't get it done, obviously. But losing to the Patriots, I know the Patriots have a pretty decent defense, but man, you got to expect that the Patriots defense should be on the field 90% of that game because the Patriots offense isn't anything better. So,
Crazy.
They got it done with Jacoby Brissett throwing 121 yards, nothing. Ramondre Stevenson took over the game. That's about the story of that game.
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
Literally nobody else. Yeah, fucking Hooper led the team in receiving yards with 31. That thing was a defensive. I didn't watch too much of it because that game was boring. So, yeah, I just couldn't believe it, man. That very highly touted Bengals team just absolutely fell on their face. Another team that didn't really surprise me but got absolutely spanked is the Panthers, man.
Yeah, they
47-10.
They look worse than they did last year, which I didn't think was even possible.
I didn't know that they could regress, man.
Yeah,
they might go defeated.
Yeah, I thought Dave Canales coming in would help Bryce Young like he helped Baker Mayfield and helped Geno Smith. I thought he'd come in and help, and Bryce Young looked worse than he ever has, I think.
Yeah, he just looked absolutely piss poor. My last surprise is honestly Caleb Williams shitting the bed, man. The Bears defense got it done for him. The Bears special teams looked great. But Caleb Williams shit the bed, dude. Don't get it twisted. He did not look good.
No, he did not look as good as he did in preseason, for sure. I don't know, he just didn't look comfortable out there. You have this offense full of weapons. There's no reason you shouldn't be just slinging it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Somebody's got to be open.
Yeah, somebody's open somewhere. You got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, all running routes. DeAndre Swift, they're all running routes. Come on.
Yeah, man. How many? Do you got any surprises for us?
The Cowboys are kind of good.
The Browns are kind of bad.
The Browns are very bad.
The Browns did not look good.
The Browns defense was pretty good.
They lost 33-10. Jerome Ford got a buzzer beater against the
Yeah.
So I don't really want to count
No,
that.
but either way, the defense did look all right. Dak only threw for a little over 200 yards, I think. Lamb was held in check. Everyone was held in check. We just kind of took over the game. The defense played great. Deshaun Watson looked bad, really bad.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson looked arguably worse than Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
And that's damn near impossible. Because Daniel Jones looked like the worst quarterback in football on Sunday. Losing 28-6 to the Vikings at home. Who would have thought that? Not me. But I did call that Sam Darnold would have a good game. He looked decent.
Yeah.
He looked pretty solid. He had one pick, not too bad, but he did carve up the Giants defense just like I said he would. So
yeah, I did.
You're welcome for that.
I wrote right here, bad teams are still bad.
Bad teams are still bad.
Yeah,
no surprise.
That's what we found out.
Good teams are bad, but
Falcons, they looked rough as hell. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I wasn't buying into that.
Yeah.
I wasn't buying into the offense until they proved something. Kyle Pitts scored a touchdown.
Yeah, that's
for the
nice.
First time in forever. So, that makes Kyle Pitts owners feel a little better.
Did Drake London do? Nothing?
Nothing. Yeah, way too expensive for nothing. I was pretty adamant about that. That was one of my don't buy guys.
Yeah.
But, can't be right about everything,
No.
So we can go ahead and hit them with our pick'em records from last week. I know I probably did pretty bad. So
we actually didn't
I don't even know if I went 500.
No, we both went 10-6.
That's not too
a little
bad.
better than you thought. It came down. I was 9-6, and you were 10-5 going into the last game, and you picked the Jets, and I picked the Niners.
The Jets I still picked the Jets. I bet on the Jets. I don't know what happened.
The 49ers are just good.
Jets,
they're just good.
Yeah.
That's all that it comes down to.
They for sure definitely did not regress. No. Everybody on that team got better. That is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go ahead and jump into our starts and sits.
Yes, sir.
If you are ready.
Yeah.
Hit us with your quarterback.
So I'm not picking on you here, I promise. But there's going to be several pieces of this start and sit column that are going to feel a little directed towards you. So don't feel offended.
That's fine. I got one directed towards me, too.
We're starting Jaden Daniels.
Literally my next player.
Yeah, we're starting Jaden Daniels. The Giants just let Sam Darnold throw over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns on them. And if you add in Daniels' rushing upside, I think he's going to go off again. He almost had 30 fantasy points last week, and that was against, who'd they play? Washington.
The Bucs.
The Bucs. The Bucs defense has always kind of been solid, and Daniels kind of did what he wanted, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't pass for too magnificent.
No, he only threw for 184, but, I mean, that's all Sam Darnold threw for, and he had 16 points just by throwing. You throw a couple tutties, run a couple tutties.
Rushed 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns, 88 yards.
Yeah, he absolutely
This is some Lamar Jackson type shit.
Well, it definitely looks better on fantasy books than it does
absolutely.
Actual scoreboards.
And that's what we're dealing with here. Jaden Daniels didn't look good in the opener. I don't think he impressed. But for fantasy, that's a whole different story. That's what you want. This is Justin Fields 2.0, all over again.
Yeah, that's bad numbers for the box score, but great numbers for the fantasy scorecard, man.
Damn near 30 points.
So, my starter this week for quarterback is going to be Jared Goff. So Jared Goff plays the Bucs, who you just said led up a decent amount of points to Jaden Daniels, and I think that the Lions' offense is at least 3 times as good as the Commanders' offense.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm just really kind of bought in. I mean, he's sitting on my bench, but that's because I have Josh Allen. If I didn't have Josh Allen, Jared Goff would be starting this game every single time. But, I've not seen a whole lot of respect on Jared Goff's name. Last week, he threw for 217 and a touchdown. Not great, but I think he has a better week this week. I think he has a bounce-back week.
No, I like Jared Goff. I do have him on the bench in one of my leagues. I think he was part of one of my guys that we went over before the season started. I do believe in this offense. I think Laporta will look better. I think Amon-Ra will look better. J-Mo looked great.
Yeah, has to.
Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, this offense is just meant. I could see this game, even though they both have decent defense, I could see this game being an absolute fireworks fest. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, this thing could go over fucking 70 points.
Yeah, but
both offenses could put up 35.
Yeah, my running back to start is also against the Giants. Brian Robinson Jr.
That's on my starter.
Yeah. Old man Aaron Jones just hung up almost 20 fantasy points on the Giants, almost 100 rushing yards. And we know that B-Rob is the guy in Washington. He played over 55% of the snaps. He got all the red zone work. He tied with Daniels for red zone touches. So and Austin Eckler didn't see a single one. So we know who is going to get the ball down there. It's either Daniels or B-Rob, and, B-Rob's good. He's good. What do you get, 18 fantasy points? Something like that?
Yeah, my main pull for B-Rob this week was honestly, yes, he's playing the Giants, but let me pull up his receiving stats here. His receiving stats last week, 3 catches for 49 yards. I love that volume as a running back. That's awesome. Obviously, he still was, probably, only rushed 40 yards, but he did get a tutty in there. But that receiving upside, that shows that Jaden Daniels does check it down to running backs. Austin Eckler got 4 catches, which I'm not too big of a fan of. Obviously, he's kind of pulling in and doing that. Who was that cat last year?
Jared.
That caught all the receiving passes.
Antonio Gibson?
Yeah, Gibson.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of what I feel like Eckler's role is. But that still leaves Brian Robinson open in the red zone. Like you said, Eckler didn't get a single red zone touch. But I do like that B-Rob's getting put into the passing game now. That's going to be a huge upside for him.
Well,
especially against the Giants.
like I said before the season, and my guys, Brian Robinson was one of my guys. He, from year 1 to year 2, with Antonio Gibson in the backfield, he tripled his catches and yards and receiving yards from year 1 to year 2. And then this year, I think it's going to go up even further, especially getting already, 50 receiving yards? Like, come on. Like, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. My next start is Chris Godwin. He just led the Bucks.
Oh, my God. What are you
He led
we're 2 for 2 here.
Bucks in catches, yards, and routes while running almost 50% of his routes from the slot. Now, who did the Lions just play and got torched from the slot by Cooper Kupp?
Yep. And fucking Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, a no-name Tyler Johnson. I think Chris Godwin is going to I think he might outscore Mike Evans this year, even though Mike Evans will probably get double-digit touchdowns again, 1,000 yards. I think Chris Godwin can do better.
Yeah, so my next start, obviously by my reaction, I have Chris Godwin too. And mainly because, like you said, dude, like Cooper Kupp absolutely dominated the Lions out of the slot. That's Chris Godwin's role. He's got Mike Evans on the outside to take all of that. And I think Mike Evans even has a good game too. Tyler Johnson, wide receiver 1 out of nowhere, 5 catches for 79 yards, sure. But Kupp got 14 for 110. And if we can see that kind of volume out of Chris Godwin this week, going to be a lot of happy fantasy owners, man.
Yeah.
A lot of happy fantasy owners. Well, let's try not to go 3 for 3. Here's your tight end.
You're not going to get this one. My tight end star is Brock Bowers.
Okay.
Yeah.
God.
He led the Raiders. He led the Raiders in targets and catches, and they're going to have to throw to keep up with the Ravens. Like the Ravens are going to probably kill them. They're not going to be running the ball. Zamir White's going to look awful again, and it's just going to be Brock Bowers, Devontae Adams, maybe Jacoby Myers with a ton of targets. I think this offense is going to look terrible. Antonio Pierce is turning out to be not a very good coach.
Yeah, that looked bad against the Chargers. The Chargers aren't known for having a stout defense, so
no,
I'm not too sure what happened over there. Didn't turn out too well for him though. Except they did. Christian Wilkins did throw down in a big old brawl. I did see that. Christian Wilkins held his own. He's kind of probably wishing he went and stayed in Miami, but it is what it is.
Hey.
So I have the guy he's playing. I have Mark Andrews. So Mark Andrews looked dog piss against the Chiefs. Almost just not even out there. Might as well just been running cardio. But if you went back and look at the film, the Chiefs game planned to stop Mark Andrews.
Absolutely, they
100%.
Yep.
So I think they're gonna the Ravens aren't gonna let the Raiders completely take Mark Andrews out of the game. And the Raiders aren't going to just be able to focus on Mark Andrews because Likely did torch the Chiefs. The Chiefs almost lost letting Likely just do whatever he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the Ravens are going to try and get Mark Andrews going. I think he's going to have a bounce-back week this week. He is their tight end 1 still, in my mind, but Likely is very good. I obviously, in our text, I said Likely was tight end 1. He's not. He's still tight end 2. But I do think that they are both fantasy valuable targets right now, but I think Mark Andrews goes for a bounce back week just so they can get him going early.
No, I 100% agree. I feel like I want to see one more week, from his car crash that he had before preseason or during preseason. I want to see 1 week of him actually getting targeted a lot and Isaiah Likely's usage to come a little bit further down, which I could see them both being on the field often this year with, 2 tight end, 2 wide receiver, 1 running back, because they don't really have a third wide receiver, other than Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers. Their third wide receiver is Devontae Walker or something like that.
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
It doesn't matter because they don't throw to more than 2. They don't throw to more than 1.
Yeah. So we can go and roll into our sits now. I can go ahead and start us off here. I have Caleb Williams as a sit. So they're playing against Houston, which did let up a decent week to quarterbacks last week, but that's because they played Anthony Richardson. I think Anthony Richardson has a higher value as a runner and as a passer. That back foot throw for like 60 yards to the Alec Pierce was absolutely nuts. And I don't know too much. If Caleb Williams doesn't get it going, the Bears will be out of this game quickly. So I don't think he does unless something clicks this week and he gets it going. But if he comes out and tries to throw for 98 yards again, the Texans might win by halftime. This game just is going to be over quickly.
Yeah, he threw 93 yards last week on less than 50% completion rate. Like, that's bad. Yeah, he got sacked twice. Like, no real rushing upside. 5 rushes for 15 yards. I don't know. It's kind of not good.
Yeah, I think Houston's numbers on defense, like, you got to look at the fantasy matchup, and obviously they're going to be ranked low right now just because it's week 2. But Houston's defense is way better against quarterbacks than what that 4th is giving off because it's not a good matchup for the Bears.
No, and, well, Anthony Richardson's just going to be a whole different kind of beast.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be good against any defense.
My quarterback sit is Trevor Lawrence. He only scored 11 fantasy points in last week's win over Miami. And this Browns passing defense, like we talked about earlier, is really good. And I don't think Jaguars are going to have to throw a lot to beat them. I think they'll keep the ball on the ground, throw little, those, short underneath routes maybe, but I just don't see them throwing a lot. So I don't like Trevor Lawrence, especially only scoring 11 fantasy points last week against Miami. Like, that should have been a shootout.
Yeah, that game, like, Miami's offense sometimes goes out there and is only out there for 4 plays. So it's one of those where Trevor Lawrence had the ball in his hand a lot, didn't make a lot happen. It screwed me. I have Evan Ingram and Calvin Ridley, and they both Calvin Ridley didn't have a bad week, but, man, he did not help me win. So, yeah, Trevor Lawrence, if he doesn't get it going this week, my fantasy team might be tanked. So I hope for my sake you're wrong. But I don't feel good about it either.
Yeah,
so,
no, we
my sit. Yeah, you can go.
We sit in Trevor Lawrence, yeah.
Absolutely, man. My next sit, same team. Bears, I'm seeing a lot of people say start him because I check in the Yahoo chats every now and again. But DeAndre Swift, man. Houston is 30th against running backs. Like, that, it's not a good matchup. It's not a good matchup for running backs. Houston's defense is nasty. They're going to shut down the Bears' run, I think. And especially since, like I said, the Bears are going to have to throw the ball to keep in this game anyway, I think DeAndre Swift gets shut down.
Yeah, no, I don't like DeAndre Swift at all this year. I spoke very lowly of him. I don't know what the big, we got to have him. He scored 5 fantasy points last week. Like, if you have him in your lineups, you got to have someone else in there, anybody else. But it's
10 rushes, but he was the leading rusher. It's just the Bears' offense sucked bad.
Yeah, it just...
he got the volume that we were scared about, but it's the problem of he had 10 rushes for 30 yards, and one of the rushes was 20 yards.
Yeah.
That's not efficient.
No.
He got lucky. He almost averaged, 1 yard a carry.
Yeah, no, and he only got 1 target. No catch. Swift is that pass-catching guy, kind of. I don't understand.
Yeah, but you kind of got to put the blame on that on Caleb.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Swift did necessarily, I liked Swift on the Eagles last year. He had plenty of work, did good for fantasy, but in this Bears offense, I don't know why they even signed him. Kind of pisses me off in the first place, but yeah. Let's see. My running back sit is Rachaad White. He just rushed for 2 yards per carry and could lose even more work to Bucky Irving. The Lions just held Kyron Williams to 50 yards at less than 3 yards per carry. So, and that's Kyron Williams. That's everybody's high-touted guy. He was just held to 50 yards and less than 3 yards per carry. What do you think they're going to do to Rachaad White? Like, the most inefficient guy. Even last year, he was super inefficient, but the passing game work kept him alive. But I think that he could end up losing this job to Bucky Irving.
Yeah, Bucky Irving looked great, man. Like, he was the leading rusher. He got way less attempts, and I went ahead and picked him up because I do believe in Bucky Irving in the long run. I think week 7 he might take over the starting job completely, just because I think he's a more versatile guy. I think he is just more talented. So I agree with that. I'm glad I did not buy into the Rachaad White stock before this season started.
Yep.
But I'm glad I did get to pick up Bucky Irving. That's a good pickup for me.
Yep.
My wide receiver sit is going to be Courtland Sutton. This week they play the Steelers. And, I think Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback. And he got shut down. The leading pass catcher was Ray McLeod for 52 yards. And I think that's wide receiver 3, probably. And that's behind Kyle Pitts as a pass catcher, too. But wide receiver 1, Drake London, got absolutely shut down. 3.5 points, 2 catches, 15 yards. Pretty bad. And I think Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Bo Nix. So if the Steelers did that to Kirk Cousins, I don't feel comfortable with Courtland Sutton being a starter against, especially with Bo Nix. Bo Nix didn't have a bad week last week, but I think the Steelers' defense is the real deal.
You know, looking at this just now, I didn't realize how many fucking targets Courtland Sutton had last week. He had 4 catches for 38 yards. 12 targets? Like, that's bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't convert on half of them, but it's because they were terrible balls.
That's what Bo Nix. Yeah, it's going to be a learning curve for sure.
Yeah. I do like the volume, though, down the road.
So,
but not this week.
We kind of mentioned it earlier, even though Calvin Ridley plays on the Titans. He's my sit this week. This Jets defense is going to fuck up the passing attack for the Titans. Sauce is going to lock up Ridley to stop the only good thing that goes in this receiver room with DeAndre Hopkins hurt, which he might actually play again, which he played, but it wasn't good. Like, he didn't play a lot. So I think Ridley will end up being the one shadowed by Sauce Gardner, and it's not going to be good.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner has absolute clamps, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm hoping Ridley has a good game. He needs a bounce-back game, but, Will Levis is Will Levis. I don't think he's a talented guy. So, I completely agree there. So, I'm going to take a shot at one of your favorite tight ends here. We're going to go ahead and sit Trey McBride, mainly because I don't really like what I seen from Kyler Murray last week. They're playing the Rams. The Rams shut down Laporta for the most part. He had 4 catches for 45 yards. I think McBride had 5 catches for 30 yards, which is, really bad. That's, 5 catches, you should at least, I feel like 30 yards on 5 catches is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know how well the Cardinals are going to get it done versus the Rams. The Lions are a way better team than the Cardinals are, and the Rams held them to 26 points. I think the Cardinals might get shut down even worse. So, go ahead and sit Trey McBride.
Yeah, Laporta went 4 for 45, and I don't know what was going on, but him and Amon-Ra didn't get used a lot. And then McBride, I don't know what is happening. Wait, Laporta. And then,
I just pulled it up for Laporta, 4 for 45. And then I looked at McBride's earlier, and he got good volume. He just didn't make anything.
Yeah, he led the team in targets, but do you assume that's going to happen again with Marvin Harrison Jr. and everything? I don't like this Cardinals offense other than James Conner until we see what's going on, because I have a lot of James Conner, Kyler Murray. I don't have any Trey McBride, thankfully. So, not to shoot you while you're down, but my sit is Evan Ingram. Uh, like we talked about with sitting Trevor Lawrence, this Browns passing defense is one of the best. The Jags shouldn't have to throw a lot to beat them. Like, I don't see them having to throw a lot. I think it's going to be a lot of Tank Bigsby, a lot of Travis Etienne. And Ingram only played 60% of the snaps. And he doesn't get a lot of looks his way when Christian Kirk is healthy. Now, last year when Christian Kirk was hurt, he led the league in targets. It was crazy.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I was super big on Evan Ingram. Last week was definitely a downer.
Yeah, I've got him in one league too, and it's
Yeah, I'm gonna probably have to make a move for tight end here, and if something doesn't change here soon. So
yeah, I get it.
All right, so we can jump into our Week 2 game picks. Thursday Night Football, Bills, Dolphins. Looks like the Dolphins are 2.5-point favorites at home. Who do you got?
I got the Bills. And I wanted to go Dolphins, but the Dolphins haven't beat the Bills since 2022. So I really think this will be kind of a close game until the end, and I think Josh Allen's just going to take over.
Yeah, the Dolphins almost lost last week to the Jags. The Jags absolutely choked it away. I think the Bills are a good team. I guess Bills almost choked to the Cardinals too, and then came back. Josh Allen took over the game.
Yeah,
just literally took over the game. So yeah, I'm also going to go with the Bills. I think Bills money line tomorrow night is going to be an absolute bag. First noon game is Saints Cowboys, and the Cowboys are 6-point favorites. Give me the 6 points.
Yeah, Cowboys should be should hurt that, kill them like they did the Browns kind of. But I could see them making this a fucking game and making it way too close.
Saints offense did just put up 47. That's always something to take into consideration.
Without using Chris Olave.
I'm going to go ahead. Well, Rashid Shaheed got it going early.
Yep.
I like Rashid Shaheed.
2 different tight end touchdowns.
Let's see. Next game up, Bucks, Lions. The Lions are 7.5-point favorite. Call me crazy. I'm going to take Bucks plus 7.5.
So are you picking?
I think they keep it close.
Are you picking Bucks to win?
I'm taking the Lions.
Okay.
Taking the Lions, but I'm taking the spread on the Bucks.
I'm taking Bucks to win. I think they can do it.
Commendable.
Yeah.
I think they're a good team too.
Yeah,
I think they're super underrated
yeah,
right now.
I think they can do it. I don't think Baker's going to throw 4 touchdowns again, but I think he's going to have another good game.
Let's go. I mean, Bucks plus 7.5 is a ride. Sure.
Yeah.
All right. We got Colts Packers, and the Packers are 3-point dogs at home. So Colts -3 is the spread.
Normally I would have went Packers, but Packers without Jordan Love is not going to be a good team. I don't care how much they try to keep the ball on the ground. He's not going to play this week. And if he does, there's no way he'll be any kind of mobile, not be able to move in the pocket. I'm going Colts.
I'm also going Colts, and give me the -3. I think Malik Willis gets the start just as a safety start this week, and they just kind of do maybe just a punt. It's going to be like a punt week. It's not bad to go 0-2, but it is bad if you send Jordan Love out there, try to go 1-1, and then he's actually tears his MCL or something. Then it's a punt season, so yeah. I think they're going to go ahead and start Willis.
They need to.
Next up, we got Jets-Titans. The Jets are only 3.5-point favorites.
Yeah, Jets will win this game with ease, honestly.
Yeah, Jets -3.5 feels way too free. We're going to take the Jets. Next game, this is actually a super surprising spread. 49ers-Vikings. The Niners are only 5.5-point favorites.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Give me the Niners. Give me the points.
Yeah.
Every time. The Niners might win by 20.
I guess they're thinking
I think the Vikings are getting a little overrated for beating a bad Giants team.
I think they're thinking that maybe without Christian McCaffrey, they're not as good of a team. But Jordan Mason looked good.
Yeah, Mason looked damn good, dude. Took over that game against a good Jets defense.
Yeah.
Seahawks, Patriots. The Seahawks are 3.5-point favorites. I think I'm still going to take the Seahawks.
Yeah, for sure.
The Patriots defense did look really good, though, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Seahawks -3.5 too. think that's going to be a good one for us. Next game up, Giants-Commanders. The Commanders are 1.5-point favorites at home. Who do you have on this one?
I went ahead and went Commanders. I don't know. I don't like what I saw at all.
I hate what I saw, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Giants because we own the Commanders. It's like our only team that we can beat is the Commanders. Daniel Jones turns into prime Danny Dimes whenever he plays the Commanders, so we're just going to go ahead and take the Giants there. Next game, we have Chargers-Panthers. This game's going to suck, but the Chargers are 6-point favorites. What do you got?
I'm going Chargers there. I ain't picking the Panthers to win a fucking game this year.
Yeah, I might go Chargers like alternate spread and go like minus like 14.5. See what that's looking like. I don't even think the Panthers will be in this game at all.
No.
So yeah, give me the Chargers. Next up, we got Browns-Jags. Jags are only 3-point favorites.
Yeah, that's crazy. Jags are gonna win this game.
I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say that the Browns have a bounce-back game. I don't really believe in the Jags that much. The Jaguars' offense didn't look good. So if we got two bad offenses going up against a good defense and a mediocre defense, go ahead and give me the Browns here. I like it. Last noon game, we have Raiders-Ravens. The Ravens are favored by minus 8.5. I think that's fair. I'm going to take the Ravens.
Yep.
I don't know how I feel about the points, though. I'm going to go ahead and fade the points. The Ravens like to play close games.
Yeah, wouldn't trust them.
Nope. First 3 o'clock game, Rams-Cardinals. The Cardinals are surprisingly 1.5-point favorites at home.
That's crazy because the Rams are clearly a better team, especially watching the Cardinals offense last week. Like, I'm going Rams.
Yeah, Rams' money line might be a very free bag.
Yeah.
Definitely going Rams there. I did not like what I seen from the Cardinals.
No.
They were in the game with the Bills, but it's not overrated. The over-under on that game is 49, though.
The Rams competed with the Lions, who everyone says is a top 3 team in the NFL, put the game into overtime without Puka Nacua for over half of it, and without some of their offensive linemen they lost.
Yeah, the Rams were definitely the hospital Rams for part of that game. Let's go 325 here. Steelers-Broncos. Steelers are 2.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
the Steelers and the points.
Steelers for sure. Broncos are not good, and they will not be good against this defense.
Last game here, we got Bengals-Chiefs. The Chiefs at home are 5.5-point favorites. Who do you got?
I got Chiefs. Until I see what the Bengals are going to actually do, I'm not picking them.
Why are the Chiefs playing at home 2 games in a row here?
That's because you know how it is.
Yeah, man. Getting all the free home games.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead and give me the Chiefs and give me the minus 5.5. Joe Burrow's going to have to show me something before I start taking any sorts of money lines on Joe Burrow. 7 o'clock game, the Sunday Night Football. Bears-Texans. Texans are 6-point favorites, and I think that's fair.
I do too. Texans are going to win this game, and like we said, Caleb Williams will probably have another bad game.
Yeah, go ahead and give me Texans minus 6. Texans might be covering the spread by halftime, so give me Texans minus 6. Monday Night Football. I think this game is probably going to suck a little bit. Falcons-Eagles. The Eagles are 6.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me the Eagles.
Eagles for sure.
Probably to cover the spread.
Yeah, their defense is better than the Falcons' offense. I can tell you that.
I don't know if the Eagles' defense is better than the Falcons' offense by any means. The Eagles' defense, but the Falcons' offense right now has some issues. Man, they got some issues. So that's all I got, man. You got anything?
I think that's all. Game picks, yeah.
Yep, that's it. So, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, definitely make sure to drop us a like. Go check us out on our other social medias, and we'll see you guys next week.